Hi class! Did you miss me? Thought so. Alright, so we've so far done two different ways to do constructions. We've used a compass and we've used the mirror. We're going to learn the third and final way in this video. It's paper folding. Get ready to have some fun.
So let's start with the learning target, which is to construct figures using paper folding. For the scale, you are 3 if you can construct figures using paper folding. 2, you can construct figures using paper folding if you use your notes. 1, you can construct figures using paper folding if you watch the video. 0, you can construct figures using paper folding. With this video, I'm not writing down anything, I'm just showing you what to do. And so it's not as easy to take notes as in the previous videos. I highly suggest the directions that I speak, you write those down. Get it so the directions that I speak you can follow. Let's get started.
So the first thing we're going to do is to draw a straight line. Seems easy enough, right? So we're going to fold this paper so you can have point P and point Q on top of each other. So we're going to fold it, and you can see through this paper. So you should be able to see when the points line up, and when they do, we make a crease, and then unfold it, and we have our line. And if you want to draw it, just take a straight edge. Ruler works, but I forgot to bring a ruler, so I have a piece of paper. And we have our line. And this line is known as the line of reflection. It means that point P and point Q are reflected across this line. So if I just took this point P and reflected it across this line, I would get point Q. You could also say point Q is the image of point P because it's just reflected across this line. The next construction we're going to do is to make a straight line that goes through this point P. So all you do on this one is just fold the paper, and you want it so it folds directly on that point. And make the crease, and draw the line. And we have the line. Alright, next we're going to make a line perpendicular to this one that goes through this point P. So you just take the paper and fold it. Again, you can see through it, and you want to fold it on point P so you see that it's directly on point P, but also on the line. So on point P and on the other line, make your crease, and then make your line. And there you have a line perpendicular to another line through a point. This construction is going to be a line perpendicular to this one, but that goes through this point P that is not on the line. So it's very similar to the way we just did. you fold it so the line's on top of each other, but you make sure you fold it directly at that point P. So you have your crease, you make your line, and voila, line that goes through a point that is perpendicular to another line. Alright, so the next construction we're going to make is a perpendicular bisector. Remember, it not only makes a 90-degree angle, but splits this segment in half. So again, you want to fold it on top of each other, but you want to make sure that the endpoints match up. So you go until the endpoints are equal, make your crease, and then make your line. Alright, so next we want to make a line parallel to this line that goes through this point P. Unfortunately, there's not a nice way to do this except to make two perpendicular lines. So first we're going to do like we did a couple steps ago and make a line perpendicular to this one through this point. So like we did before, we're going to fold this line on top of itself at the point P, making sure that both the line is on top of itself and it's through the point P. Make our crease, make our line, then we do the same thing again. We're going to make a perpendicular line perpendicular to this one that goes through this point on the line. So again, same thing, fold it on top of itself at the point, and draw our line. And voila, a line parallel to another line. Now for our final construction, we're going to make an angle bisector. So we take this angle and we want to fold it on top of itself. So you go till you see the line of the other angle and folding it on top of itself, making your crease, And just like we did the point of reflection, this is almost like a reflection of this line to another line making an angle. That's why it's halfway between itself, because it's a bisector. And then finally we make our final line. My pen's not working very well on this paper, so it might not show up all that great. But we have our final line. Our angle bisector of this angle, so these two angles are now congruent. Alright, now time for the sponge activity. Question number 1, when you fold a point onto another point, the crease that is created is called what? And then number 2, using paper folding to construct parallel lines, you first have to construct what geometric figure? That's it for this lesson. Once again, please remember to take notes on the entire lesson. Attempt the sponge, submit it all to Doodle Classroom. Don't forget to put your rating at the top of your page as well on what you are on the scale, and have a good night.